Dante's Boxing Nation, what's going on, guys? You know, obviously there's been a lot of talking going back and forth when it comes to Andre Ward and Sergey Kovalev since they faced off November of last year. Now, what I find kind of interesting is following the fight, maybe a day or so after the fight, Andre Ward said, you know, if we ever fight in a rematch, I'll beat him even easier in a rematch. Now, it's interesting to me because now we keep hearing Andre Ward drop hints that he may actually retire. He said like about a week or two ago that, you know, he might retire, and now he just recently said it again. He said, you know, I've accomplished everything that I wanted to accomplish in the sport. I could retire today and I'll be happy, etc., etc. I'm paraphrasing, but this is pretty much what Andre Ward has been saying. Now, what I'm trying to figure out is Andre Ward just saying this because he's negotiating a better deal in a rematch? Or is Andre Ward really thinking about retiring? Now, I know that before this fight, Andre Ward, he was talking about possibly moving up to heavyweight. He was talking about doing a lot of different things following a Sergey Kovalev fight. So if Andre Ward truly is thinking about retiring, then there is no doubt about it, Andre Ward realizes how much of a threat Sergey Kovalev is. He realizes that was the closest he came to defeat, and if he really would rather retire than face Sergey Kovalev in a rematch, that's pretty much what it suggests. I mean, clearly, Andre Ward, he hasn't said anything disrespectful about Sergey Kovalev, so we knew from the beginning that Andre Ward, he respected how good Sergey Kovalev was. Now, we can't say the same thing when it comes to Sergey Kovalev because we've heard Sergey Kovalev talk about how, you know, Andre Ward is not a very good fighter. He's just simple, nothing special about him. And then right after he says that, he says, I'm thinking about hiring an additional trainer so I can basically, you know, add on to things that I don't have and get rid of things that I don't need. He said something on those lines. So both of these fighters' actions are proving that they feel their opponent was the toughest they've ever faced. And if they were to face each other in a rematch, it is not going to be easy. I'm getting that feeling from both of these guys. Once again, with Sergey Kovalev saying that, you know, he wants to hire an additional trainer, which is nothing wrong with him doing that. Like I said, you want to give yourself the best shot at possibly beating Andre Ward in a rematch. I understand that. It makes sense. The only thing I don't subscribe to or agree with is when Sergey Kovalev, he contradicted himself by saying that Ward is simple and he's not really good and all of these things. Then he turns around and says he's thinking about hiring an additional trainer. If he wouldn't have tried to discredit and berate Andre Ward, then it wouldn't have looked so hypocritical for him, you know, to basically mention that he wants to hire an additional trainer. So once again, when it comes to Andre Ward thinking about retiring, you know, I hope he doesn't retire. But once again, clearly if he does retire, it suggests that he understands how tough a Sergey Kovalev fight would be. So you have two fighters that have an enormous amount of respect for each other. Let's see what happens in the near future. And before I end this video, I want to say this. You have fans that continuously bring up who they thought won the fight. They'll say, everyone knows Sergey Kovalev won the fight. So my question to you is, if we're not even talking about who won the fight, like in this video, for instance, this video was mainly about Andre Ward thinking about retiring. So my point is, if you truly believe that everyone knows that Kovalev won the fight, then what are you complaining about? Because when Pernell Whitaker beat Julio Cesar Chavez, but they called the fight a majority draw, which means one judge had it for Pernell Whitaker and two of the other judges had it a draw, that was looked at the time as one of the biggest robberies ever. And that was a much bigger landslide when it comes to robberies compared to the Kovalev versus Ward fight. Okay? So my point is, once I realized that the whole boxing world realized that was a robbery, I didn't really complain too much about it. There was really no reason to debate because the majority of fans and media members had Pernell Whitaker winning that fight decisively. Not by 1 point, but decisively. So when it comes to this Kovalev situation, if you truly believe that everyone knows that Kovalev won the fight, I don't really see why you keep complaining about it, especially when no one is even talking about who won the fight, at least not on this video. So, just food for thought. That's all I got for now, guys. I'm on to the next one.